What I wish I'd known before tapering off antidepressants. If you follow my page for a while, you'll know that I often talk about healing, hope, and life beyond antidepressant withdrawal. What I don't talk about quite as often is the long and complicated journey that came before that. Today, I consider myself healed from antidepressant withdrawal. The symptoms that once dominated my life no longer have control over me, and for that I am deeply grateful. But healing didn't end when the withdrawal symptoms eased. In many ways, it marked the beginning of a different journey. I'm still processing the trauma of what happened to me. I'm still unraveling the labels, beliefs, and narratives I carried for years. I'm still learning how to care for myself, understand myself, and address the deeper roots of my struggles now that I'm no longer emotionally numbed or restricted by antidepressants. The reason I share this is because I never want people to think my story is simply one of stopping antidepressants and living happily ever after. The truth is far more complex than that. Part of that truth is the tapering journey itself. For almost 20 years, I took antidepressants exactly as prescribed. Like many people, I trusted the professionals supporting me because I believed they had the knowledge and expertise that I didn't. If the drug stopped working, I followed the advice I was given. If the symptoms returned, I followed the advice I was given. If I was told to increase, switch, reduce, or reinstate, I followed the advice I was given. What I didn't realize at the time was that I had unknowingly become trapped in a cycle that would continue for years. During my time on antidepressants, I experienced what many people now refer to as poop outs, periods where the drug seemed to stop working as it once had. Rather than exploring why this might be happening, the solution was often another dose increase, another antidepressant, another switch, or another attempt to come off and start again. Each time, I followed the guidance I was given, hoping this latest change would finally be the answer. Instead, I found myself becoming increasingly confused and unwell. Looking back now, I realize how little I truly understood about antidepressant withdrawal. Nobody explained dependency. Nobody explained neuroadaptation. Nobody explained that withdrawal symptoms can sometimes be mistaken for a relapse. Nobody explained that repeatedly stopping, restarting, and switching antidepressants can further sensitize the nervous system. And nobody explained that tapering too fast can have devastating consequences. As each tapering attempt failed, I became more unwell, frightened, and confused. When symptoms appeared, they were often interpreted as evidence that I still needed the drugs. When reinstating provided relief, it seemed to confirm that belief. So the cycle continued. More dose changes, more drug switches, more reinstatement, more suffering. At the time, I had no framework for understanding what was happening to me. I didn't know that withdrawal can occur during a taper, after a missed dose, after switching antidepressants, or even long after the final dose is taken. I didn't know that the nervous system can become highly sensitive after years of antidepressant use. Most importantly, I didn't know that the way we taper matters. The advice I was given focused on coming off antidepressants relatively quickly. What I know now is that many people require a much slower, more individualized approach. Had I known then what I know now, I would have approached tapering very differently. I would have spent far more time educating myself. I would have understood the importance of preparation. I would have learned about the different tapering methods available. I would have recognized the risks associated with repeated failed tapering attempts. And I would have understood that the goal isn't to get off the antidepressants as quickly as possible. The goal is to reduce harm and remain as stable and functional as possible throughout the process. This isn't about fear, it's about informed consent. It's about understanding the potential risks before making decisions. It's about recognizing that every nervous system is different. And it's about ensuring people have access to information that many of us were never given. If there's one thing I hope people take away from my story, it's the importance of becoming informed, prepared, and empowered before making decisions about tapering. I wasn't given the information I needed about safe tapering practices. I wasn't told about dependency, withdrawal, tapering methods, nervous system sensitization, or the potential risks of reducing too quickly. Looking back, I can see how much unnecessary suffering may have been avoided had I understood these things sooner. Every tapering journey is unique. Factors such as the drug involved, the dose, how long it has been taken, previous tapering attempts, nervous system sensitivity, overall health, and life circumstances can all influence the experience. There is no one-size-fits-all approach and no universal timeline. The more informed you are, the better equipped you become to advocate for yourself. Ask the right questions, make decisions with confidence, and reduce unnecessary harm. If you are considering reducing or stopping antidepressants, take the time to research, learn about withdrawal, explore different tapering options available, ask questions, seek support. Most importantly, don't allow yourself to be rushed into a process that deserves careful thought, preparation, and respect for your individual circumstances. I can't change what happened to me, but if sharing my experience helps even one person feel better informed, more prepared, and less alone as they navigate their own journey, then something good has come from it. Because I wish I'd had access to this information before I began my own tapering journey, I created the Antidepressant Tapering Companion. Inside, I share the lessons I learned the hard way, safe tapering principles, tapering options, common mistakes to avoid, guidance around reinstatement and stabilization, practical resources, and the information I wish someone had given me before and during my own tapering journey. My hope is that it helps you approach tapering with greater clarity, confidence, and informed awareness than I ever had. If my long journey with antidepressants has taught me anything, it's that knowledge truly is power. The more informed we are, the better equipped we become to advocate for ourselves, reduce unnecessary harm, and make decisions that feel right for our own unique circumstances. Be gentle with yourself. Time is your friend. Trust your body, honor your pace, and remember that this journey cannot be rushed. Most importantly, never lose hope. And as always, please remember that I am not a medical professional. My content is based on lived experience and should not be considered medical advice. Any decisions about your antidepressants should be made with the appropriate professional support and careful considerations of your individual circumstances, and never stopped suddenly.